Hi, Tim here. Time for another Tim on Everything. Oh boy. So, still in Thailand. Today's kind of a sad day for me. It's my dinghy right there. My son Alex, who's been here for the last, 2.5 weeks, left today to go back to the United States. So, I'm pretty sad about that. But I have a few British kids showing up in 2 days, and then we're off for a 2-week passage to India, and then another month from India through the Red Sea, the Suez Canal, and into the Med. So I'm making kind of a mad dash to hopefully get back to the States by the end of this year. When I started this trip a few years ago, the idea was, or one of the ideas, I want to experience different things. I want to see what it felt like to be scared and cold and hungry and lonely and isolated, and now I know. And I can't say I like a lot of those things. Particularly don't like being lonely, nor do I really like being invisible, and that's another subject all to itself. But after 2.5 years, it's time to work my way back to the States. What I'm going to do there, I don't know. Probably go back to flying airplanes. I think I'll also get my Coast Guard captain's license to do some teaching and so forth on sailboats. God knows I have the sea time right now. But one of the things that Alex did for me too, that he's always real good at, is we downloaded a whole bunch of videos, like 1,200. Got a lot of free time in a boat, and several television series. One of which was a 1970s series called The Life and Times of Grizzly Adams. And it's kind of a hokey little program. But when I was in high school, it was my world. I loved everything about that program. I loved the whole mountain man motif. Made me want to be a mountain man. And in fact, it was because of that series that I then started to work. Went to Colorado one summer for the Colorado Outward Bound School, went back to Colorado for the winter Colorado Outward Bound School. It was because of my love of Outward Bound and the outdoors that I decided to get involved with rock climbing up in the Shawangunks, and camping and hiking. And when I went to college at Fordham, where I studied philosophy, I actually joined ROTC and eventually became an infantry officer, again all because of this Life and Times of Grizzly Adams. When I was done with that, I worked as a mountaineering guide for a number of years, to include Outward Bound. Then I wanted to know what it was like to fly birds, so I became a pilot, an aerobatic pilot, an aerobatic flight instructor. And then I wanted to know what it was like to sail, so here I am sailing around the world. Along the way, I had 3 wonderful kids, 2 grandkids, for whom I'm writing some books entitled Mike the Dog, and Mike goes on his worldwide adventures. And now I've got the series again. I had long forgotten about it, but it's kind of funny how my life has taken a full circle. Always about adventure, and about compassion, and about loneliness, and about perseverance and tenacity. And it's kind of funny, again, how a series like that could so change somebody's life, but it did. And now I'm working my way back home. I hope next November I'll be going through Grand Canary, and after the hurricane season in the Atlantic next November, I'll be crossing to the Caribbean and get to the Caribbean before Christmas. So that's the plan. Will I do a worldwide cruise? Probably not. I've got other adventures I'd like to do. And in fact, I'm really not even sure what I'm going to do. I'm a little concerned about, well, for lack of better words, what I would call PTSD when I get home, but more reverse PTSD. In other words, I've been pretty much doing what I wanted to do for over 2 years now. When I get back to all the hustle and bustle of civilization, of which I've never really fit in, I'm not really sure what the heck I'm going to do. But that will be another adventure. But for now, you know, all I could tell people is follow your heart, follow your adventures. As silly as some of the cool school kid things were, you know, again, here I am, high school, watching Grizzly Adams, for gosh sakes. But I love that life, and I made that life the best I could for myself. And I think everybody else that I know has a similar type interest in something. Go out and do it. Why wait? Life's too short to wait for the best time to do things. The best time is now. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I've proven everything on this trip, geez, and I've been destitute poor the whole time, is you can live with a lot less than what you think, and there's always a way to make things happen. Always a way. As many of you know, I got from New Zealand all the way up here to Thailand pretty much with no autopilot, a broken engine, and 2 ripped sails. Now they've all been fixed, but hell, I did 8,000 miles that way. Nobody thought it would be possible, but where there's a will, there's a way. Any rate, enough said. We'll get back to you again soon. Next time about what I mentioned earlier about being invisible. And if I could figure out this YouTube a little bit better, maybe I'll even do some local shots. One of the kids that's coming with me to India supposedly has a drone, so maybe that will be coming up next too. That sounds pretty cool. Just technology and me are, I'm pretty much coming out of the Stone Age, for Christ's sakes. So everybody enjoy. Give your family a big hug, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. And we'll talk more later. Tim out.